Hi guys, guess where we're at? Back at the little mill. This is that one that I pulled the double set on. And what I plan on doing is just knocking a little bit of this edge off so I got a flat that goes on there. This would probably be alright to go in there, but if you have a flat on the bottom it'd be better. You don't want to stand it up that way. I want to stand it up this way. Because if you stand it up that way, this, because of the roundness of it, wants to go out. I don't have dogs that bite in at the bottom. Those air dogs up there at Mark's place, Bus Motor Production, they're shooting today. Can you tell? Real windy. I was working on the. Oh, they'll be done in a minute. Takes that many bolts for them to hit the target. I can't talk. Good planning. I trimmed all these boards. I didn't figure you guys wanted to watch for all this trimming because that was a bunch of nonsense trimming. I did sticker a few of those last night before I shoved them back in here. The big piece down there, I got no idea what I'm going to do with yet. Don't do what I do. It's clog your sawmill up with junk. That's what that is. Anyhow, I don't know if you can hear me over what's going on. So that's what I'm going to do over there. Is I'll take it in. Take the. I start zooming in, and then it takes off on me. So I guess you can see kind of what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to take a cut at the bottom, and then roll it up, and then lock it in. Do a real slim face cut, and then I'll have two. The first board probably ain't nothing but junk. Even though I got a 6-inch face, it's not a straight face, so that's junk. So I'm more concerned with the back piece because it's bigger. So that's where I'm going at. Put your ears on. Here we go. I think. kind of show you how when you screw up like that, you can get out of it. So that ain't too bad. So I'm going to stack this over on here, then pull all this over on there, and then carry it up to the greenhouse and put it in and let it cook, because it'll dry in a couple days, a day like today. Anyhow, thanks for coming along. Do me a favor and hit the like button. I can't talk too well. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. You probably already subscribed, but I hope you liked it. And if not, like I said in the past, send it to someone that you don't like and annoy them. I got a lot of cleanup to do here. I got to clean up over in there, and I got to clean up where the tripod is, and just rake it. Get the, you know, you get that kind of crap, and it just does good to get it up so you're not stepping on it and twisting your ankle or something. So thanks for coming along. Bye bye now. I just cut this about a minute or so ago. I had to get the camera. It was a grapevine, big grapevine. You should have seen when I first cut it. It was like the faucet was turned on. Here's another piece of it here. You can see that one up there dripping. Killing the trees here, so I want to get rid of them. So that's what looking at. We'll see. Just thought it was interesting. Bye. Hi guys, this is 30-second update. That's all the poopler, those boards that I just sawed. You can see I got some thin ones, I got some thick ones at the bottoms, and then a little thinner, then real thin. Then it goes up in different sizes, just because I didn't want to put all the thick ones down at the bottom, because I need the thick one that's 17 inches. Put the moisture meter in it, and it was in the ozone layer. It just went right off the rack instantly. Now I'll let it sit in here for a little bit like that, and maybe put the fan. I got the fan back there. I might put the fan on it. It'll probably be dry in a week. Those thin ones anyway. And I put some of the wood from on top that was over there. So, and it's a good thing, because I found a few mouse droppings that added to the weight. So it'll probably go down a little bit when I put it back on. I guess it was a minute update. See ya. Bye bye. Well, if you own a sawmill, you know about trims and cleanup and all that kind of goofy nonsense. So I'm going to give you a little bit of paint drying on the trims, how I do it. And well, I used to do it up there, and I've had all sticky wood. This stuff here makes good kindling, but I just don't feel like messing with it. Let's see. Start. I can't do that no more. I ain't got enough. Oh. get the idea. I'll finish that up. I'm going to throw that in the barrel over there and start lighting it up. Now, I've been a steel guy since 82 or 83, nothing but steels. They've been good saws, great saws. And I see steel support some other channels. I know there's one person out there that's got a nice 880 steel and probably only used it 3 times or something like that. I use that top handle saw there. That's my second one. I had a 020T, which was a better saw than that. I could start it without using 2 legs, but I was younger then. I don't know why they don't reach out to me and say, hey, we'll give you an electric top saw. It gets used every time I run the sawmill. You can see how handy that is, but I like the quiet of a electric one. And you know, because of that, I ain't buying one. They can give it to the big guys, the young guys, and all that kind of stuff, but an old geezer, they don't want nothing to do with an old geezer. Or the monster channels. They make monster channels, make bigger monster channels. Now I understand that they want the views so people see that, but they got the views by them giving people things like that. So it aggravates me. So I'm not going to buy one. I was going to go buy one. In fact, I was going to buy 2 of them. That little 8-inch one or something they got. I was going to put a magnet on and try measuring my logs with that, but no, they're starting to irritate me. The more I see advertising on different shows that are advertised by the channel as opposed to advertised by what Google puts on, I'm not going to mess with. Anyhow, and I'm starting to watch them a lot less because I don't need to watch commercials. Anyhow, that's the barrel that it's going into. I'll tell you what, I just found something up here on my way back and I go, holy crap. I've been watching this thing for years and years, probably 5 years, maybe longer than that. Well, I was running the sawmill. Now, we had some big heavy winds, and I saw, oh man, some branches came down. Now, I know you're not too steady. And these are some big branches that go, holy, and I was just watching from over there. I'm just coming up and seeing it now. Look at all this. And then I started noticing and said, holy gamoly there. This thing come down with a crash, didn't it? I think I see a lot of potential firewood here. That ain't no little tree. That's been dead for quite some time. My border, my property line is, it might start, I think it's right there. Not that it makes any difference to you guys. I'm just kind of taking you along for my gander. There should be a stake, yep. Right there. You gotta know where your border is. I already asked neighbor if I could have that and cut it down, but I was kind of afraid to cut it down. Look at the fence in here. Don't come in here with your tractor. This is a deer trail here. That ain't no little log, guys. Oh man, somebody found my bottle. That is a screw on top. Oh man, I get some good whiskey in there. You can see how rotted in this tree is. I don't know if it's going to have any good firewood in it. I think it was a white oak. There's your hypoxin canker right there. That's what killed that tree. Now, I don't know how to let you know how big this tree is. I don't know what you're seeing in there, but this is a monster tree. You know, if it was a 40-footer, I'd put it on the mill down there. Look at that. That's a chunk of tree. And there's a bunch more up here that are dead. There's one right there. There's another one over there. That one, it might have a couple more days left before it falls over. There's another one up there that fell over. But this one had hypoxin. That's got to be, that might be bigger than the one that Mark just sawed. If that comes out that big, this might go on the mill. I gotta saw one bigger than Marky. Look at the rot in that. I'm pretty sure this is white oak. Now I'm not positive, but it's a big one. And here's another whiskey bottle. And daggone squirrels were drinking whiskey up in the tree. I know, it was the same one. Here's a dead, looks like a dead dogwood. No, it's got some flowers up there. The dogwood's got some disease in them years back, and they're all gone too. Look at this. Uh-oh, it looks like a poison ivy vine on it over here. Man, that had to make some noise when it come down. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that's... Ooh, that is a poison ivy thing. Me and poison ivy don't get along. Have to cut it and get it out of the way. Look at it all there. Kind of spread out. Kind of a tripping hazard, too. Look at all that. Whew. Over there. I knew it was going to crash about here. Or I knew it was going to come down. From there, my property line goes over. You see that camper over there? Goes just to that side of that camper. No, well, there's a pile. I guess it goes. No, I guess it goes right along that way. Not that it matters. Anyhow, that was an amazing. Ouch! Daggone stickers. That was an amazing find. Gosh, if I can get a 40-footer out of that, haul it down to the big mill, I might get some YouTube viewers. I'm gonna look at it for that. Looking at it for that. It'd be something. Don't think I'm ready for it though. Anyway, I'm gonna clean up the rest of that mess and then I'm heading to another mess. Just clean up today. Bye-bye. Well, this is another mess I'm into. This tank here was empty. That tank there had a couple gallons in it. That's 100 and... Let's see, that tank there on the generator, I did some calculations. The tank is, I don't know if you can see that, 80 by 35 by 10 inches. I don't know what that, 10 inches, okay. Divided by 231 is 121, so it's about a 120 gallon tank. Okay, when I measured it, it had, I don't remember what it had in it. Okay, well anyway, so I was going to buy one of those, pumps like Mark has up at his place, and I was looking at one last week, and they kept sending me ads. It was Venor, V-E-N-O-R, that company that sends everybody everything but me. Anyhow, they had the pump on sale for $35. I said, well, if I sell that conveyor, I'm going to go ahead and get that, because I didn't really have a way to get this fuel out of there into here. That fuel's getting to be kind of old, so I want to get new fuel in there. I want to use that up, so I was going to pump it into this thing. I didn't really want to buy a pump because I have this pump and I got another pump on that tank. That tank's a 300 gallon, I think, tank, double wall. This one's single wall, but this is the one I move around. So I decided I wanted to get the fuel out of there. How am I going to do that? Well, I decided I was going to siphon it out with that siphon thing that I got. I've had this thing for years and years and years. Tony up at Tony's Cool Tools did a demo on one of these. So what I did was I figured, well, if this tank, I measured this tank and where the level was and where the level should go to there, so now it's level. And that's what I did. I just started it going. There it goes. It's losing its siphon. Now I don't know if that'll go back in because it's got a one-way valve on it. Looks like it's going real slow, kind of like me, so I'm all right with that. And then that'll so when I finish measuring, I'll let that go back down. That's not too exciting. Of course, a lot of stuff I do ain't real exciting. So what I did is I figured out this tank here now has 12 inches in it. It had 11 the last time I measured. It's been a while since I've been back. So this is 22 by 48 by 11. Is that many? Divided by 231s. That means I have 50 gallons, but now I have another inch in there. So you take this 11 and put 12 in there. That'd be bigger, and boom, boom, boom. And when I measured this, I had 3.5 inches in there. So now it's probably down to 3 inches, which is still, I had calculated it, still 42 gallons, so that might be down to 35. So that's where I'm at, just kind of goofy stuff I'm going on. So now I have fuel for Sawmills, and I'll have everything empty when I call to get, I'll bring in 500 gallons of fuel oil, because might take that up there and have them fill that up with 100 gallons. 100 gallons in there, and then 300 in there, so that's 500 gallons of fuel I'll get at a time. And I'll try to get, well, if I get I won't order till everything's gone anyway. So that's what's going on. That's just something I did today. I also had to dig up 2 shrubs for the wife in the front that died. And I ended up just digging up by hand with a screwdriver, even though they were about 5 inches around. They didn't have a very good root system. That's probably why they died. So anyhow, that's kind of stuff's going on. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Got to close up the gas tank lids is what I'm doing now. It's after dinner. We'll see.